Story 1. My boyfriend was murdered. Not only did I feel like I knew before it happened, but I feel like I still know what he's doing. So long story short, my boyfriend was targeted and murdered. A very sudden and tragic death. Me and him had always been very connected in a I've known you my whole life way. Very soon after meeting, we became close quickly, and it just felt like, it's you. Nothing was ever difficult, and he is the first person I've ever been with that I felt completely safe with and didn't feel any type of pressure to rush into things or figure everything out. I felt like it was all just going to fall into place, and up until now it did. We had a very private relationship due to his family not approving, as well as safety concerns, and just wanting to keep things between us in general. Within hours after he passed, his family treated me very poorly and cut me out of everything, taking all of his things from our house, as well as mine, taking our bed, literally everything, and taking our dog. The last few months I had been talking to him a lot about what he wanted done, if something were to happen to him. 1 week before he passed, I had asked him who he would rather our dog stay with if something were to happen, and if he would want our dog to continue seeing certain people, just planning in case something were to happen. I didn't really understand at the time, and why I felt like I needed to ask him all these questions and have everything planned right now. We are pretty young, 20s, but now I feel like I knew. The night after he passed, I had a dream where we were back in our bed together, and while neither of us were actually talking, we were just communicating. If that makes sense, I was telling him we couldn't fall asleep in the dream or he would go away again, and he was telling me he was still right here, and I just needed to go to sleep. That dream really freaked me out because waking up from it felt like losing him all over again. After that night, every time I fell asleep, he was in my dreams, but there was no more communication, not talking or saying anything. Just sitting with me, petting my hair, comforting me. The first few days I felt him everywhere. It was subtle, such as when his family texted me, telling me they were taking everything and I needed to leave the house. Right as the text came through to my phone, my cabinet latch undid itself, and I could just feel him, and I felt super comforted. And when I was really upset about the fact that none of his friends or family were acknowledging me or updating me on funeral arrangements, memorials. I actually was not invited to his memorial or even told about it until after, and they were selling our things because they wouldn't take the money I had set aside for them. And I was telling him I just keep talking to him the way I normally would, how I was upset with the fact we kept our relationship private and saying that it all felt so stupid. Now that we were so private, the lyrics to a song he had sent me over a year ago randomly popped up on my phone. The lyrics talking about how our relationship was special because it stayed between us. Don't ever doubt my feelings for you. Other people only complicate things. And what we have is so special because we didn't need to share it with everyone to know what it was. But after things with his family calmed down, his friends started including me in things. I haven't felt him at all. The last dream I had, he was saying he had to take care of some things for himself, and I needed to be on my own for a little, and he'll talk to me when he's done. I haven't had any more dreams since. Before, when I would talk, I felt like I was talking to him. Now, I don't feel like anyone is listening. In my mind, I think he was making sure I was comforted through the hardest part, and now that things have calmed down and he knows I'm as okay as I can be, and my mom started coming over to take care of me, he went on his journey that he needs to focus on. I don't know why, but I can feel all of this. While of course I am absolutely devastated, a part of me feels somewhat at peace with things, like I know I won't ever be with anyone else like that, and that part of my life that I had planned isn't going to happen now, and I'm okay with that. I feel like I will be with him again when it's time for me to be. I've also had many people close to me pass away through my life and have never had any type of experience like this, no matter how badly I wanted them. Anyways, I'm just wondering if this sounds right or if I am making up this whole thing in my mind and looking into everything that happened after and giving it meaning because I desperately want to be close to him. Edit, I should also mention he passed very recently, like a week ago, and I don't believe he has moved on completely from this life, as his body's not even in the ground yet. So telling me I need to move on is not helpful. I'm just trying to figure out if I'm trying to make something more of all these things happening around me. If I'm just having these dreams, because it's what I feel is happening. Not necessarily what he feels is happening, or if they seem like they're some kind of sign. Again, please do not tell me I need to move on. Story 2. Mom's boomer boyfriend charged at my boyfriend with a gun. My boyfriend came by last night and arrived shortly after midnight. He pulled into the driveway and parked. So I went outside to chat in his car. Before we went inside, we were just standing there talking, and suddenly we heard the front door slam open, followed by running and the sound of a gun being cocked. My mom's boyfriend had woken up my brother and just said, "Get your gun and hurry outside," before even knowing who was there. Both of them sprinted at us, pointing loaded guns ready to fire. They couldn't see our faces in the dark, and the boyfriend almost had both of us killed. My brother never knew what was going on and had assumed something bad was happening or had already happened. The thing is, I walked past him going outside and saying, On the phone, I'm on my way to your car now. After we called out and they realized who we were, he started laughing like it was just a cute little mix-up. He was about to kill us with no questions asked and without seeing who he was killing. I don't even feel comfortable with him being at our house anymore because now I'm terrified he's going to accidentally kill us with his paranoia edit. Nobody mentioned in this post, me, my boyfriend, my brother, and my mom's boyfriend, lives at this house. We were all visiting my mother. For some reason, half of y'all were more pissed off about a young adult, 24, living at home still than another guest trying to kill me at my own mother's house. Even if I was living with my mother, y'all are stupid as fuck shaming someone for staying home during a housing crisis when prices for both home ownership and rent are rising faster than yeasted dough. Some of y'all are genuinely stupid as hell. I tell y'all that not only did her boyfriend know I'd just gone outside because we were in the same room when I went out and was on the phone with my boyfriend telling him I was on my way out to his car in front of this nut job, and y'all still say it's my fault. Somehow that this idiot was going to shoot both of us. Y'all's rants make you look stupid by saying he did nothing wrong, even after I provide further context. Do you genuinely believe the appropriate response morally, and in terms of gun safety, is to run out the door with a pistol raised in complete darkness, pointed at someone who you can't even see, clearly just for driving into your driveway? Y'all are as stupid as him. There is no defense against wanting to murder someone for driving their car into your driveway. There was no threat, and he had no reason to defend himself. Y'all are the same as the MFs who quiver at the thought of one day being able to shoot someone to live out some insane hero fantasy. I pray to God none of you have families because you act like you do this exact same thing and end up murdering your own child if they stepped outside the door at night. Paranoid freaks. Story 3. Just found out I was adopted through foster care. My real mom was murdered by her boyfriend. Why did no one help her? Last month, I added a friend on Facebook. A friend of theirs who grew up with him joked about how much I looked like his cousin. My friend agreed and jokingly asked if I was adopted. I said no, but asked to see the cousin. When I tell you we are identical, I'm not lying. It's eerie, like looking in a mirror that shows me a few years younger. I asked my friend about his cousin. Apparently, she was adopted by their other aunt after her mom was murdered. They mentioned that she had an older sibling too, who was taken by cyber physical systems as a baby. I'm sure you can see where this is going. I mentioned it to my adoptive parents and they freaked the fuck out, demanded I cut immediate contact with the friend, and started taking my devices. Shut all of my social media accounts down. It was insane. I left for my friend's house and explained what happened. We compared information and baby photos. I guess me and my friend are actually cousins. My parents adopted me as an infant. I had no idea. They made sure I would never find out through so many avenues. The woman who adopted me had a pregnancy before I was adopted that ended in a stillborn, something she admitted to when I confronted her. My whole life, she's acted like the pregnancy photos, and the scar were all from me. My adoptive parents even changed my damn birthday. My mom asked for help from so many people. All they did was take me. She was 15 when she had me, so it's not like she was an adult. She begged and no one cared. Cyber physical systems finally helped her by taking me and handing me off to a rich couple. I was adopted before I was 6 months old. I swear it can't have been legal. She continued to ask for help and no one did. She had her second baby when she was 18. She still asked for help. She was murdered when my sister was 9 days old. She'd gone to the police. They sent her home, and I guess he decided that was enough. My sister was adopted by our aunt. That is so weird to type, honestly. The aunt who adopted her has opened her home to me too. Said I can move in whenever I want. I plan to. The second I turn 18, I'm not speaking with the couple that adopted me. They aren't my parents. I fucking hate them. And I hope I never see them again once I've moved out. Maybe I'm just being dramatic, but I'm so angry. I wish someone would have helped her. I always knew there was something different about me. They could have explained it to me so many fucking times, and they didn't. I don't even know what I'm posting about this for. To relate to someone, I don't know. Maybe I hoped that there wasn't anything anyone could do, and this was just a shitty situation. How the hell do I cope with this? Story 4. Tonight I broke up with my boyfriend because he kept joking about murdering me. During our first few weeks of dating, he joked too much for comfort that he was going to murder and dismember me and dispose of my body. Maybe out of context, I'm being dramatic. He's very sarcastic and has dark humor, but to me it wasn't funny and caused me anxiety because I know the statistics. I talked to him about this. I told him repeatedly, stop joking about killing me. He kept on with the jokes until I finally told him that those jokes literally scare me. He apologized and seemed to feel bad that his jokes made me scared of him. Tonight we were over 3 hours late to meet with his brother to play games, watch movies, and eat dinner. When I was talking to him about us being late, I noticed he sighed deeply, clenched his fist, and looked down at it, as if he were making the conscious choice to not punch me. Then, As I was saying goodbye to his brother, he came into the room and said, "She should say her permanent goodbyes." I asked him what the fuck. He said it was a joke. I asked, "How's it funny? What's the punchline? Please explain to me how that was supposed to be funny." He couldn't answer. I didn't want to get in the car with him. I walked off and thankfully my roommate picked me up and drove me home. He called later and I told him I'm done. He's a good man, other than for the jokes about killing me. We talked about it and agreed that he wouldn't joke about killing me anymore. But then he did it again tonight and doubled down that it was just a joke and that actually I'm the problem. I started telling him again about how often women are killed by their husbands and boyfriends, and that's why the jokes bother me so much. But he interrupted me to say, "Fuck you." So I hung up and blocked him. All of this really ducks because my roommates say I should just talk it out with him and give him another chance because they can tell I really like him and he really likes me. But I already did that. I thought we were past the homicide jokes. Then he did it again tonight while he was angry with me, and it caused me this awful feeling in my gut that I needed to not get in the car with him and get away from him. I've had boyfriends and male friends in the past. None of them have ever made jokes about murdering and dismembering me, especially multiple times after I told them to stop. Have you had friends or boyfriends that make jokes like this? Where is the humor in it? What would you do in this situation? Update: thank you everyone for your overwhelming support. Also, thank you for the important links and resources in the comments. I've learned a lot and shared them with my friends. I love this sub. I haven't heard from him and he hasn't caused any trouble since the breakup. If anything comes up, I'll update this post.